In 1979, Rachel and Larry Hall get married at Wagner Creek near the Siskiyou Forest, where a multitude of friends, family, God, and elder trees witness their commitment to each other. Together they begin a lifelong journey into the woods.
This was a really informative piece, and I was so impressed by how much they were able to pack into a 10-minute film. The animations were fantastic, and they made it really easy to understand the information that was being presented here. I think this is something that my children could easily follow along with. I like the characters and the story, and how they managed to strike such a fine balance between talking about a really serious environmental issue, while at the same time being very light in tone. Nothing's too heavy or hard to digest here, so they did a really good job with that. This was a great watch.
I loved the animation in this piece. I think that animation can be a really fun and sort of accurate way of portraying nature, because it really allows us to like personify nature, which I thought was really playful and fun in this piece. I also thought the beginning set the piece up beautifully and really framed the piece. The beginning to me was sort of like this living photo album. And then I really appreciated how through the animation, like, we saw your grandma's vision and her world come to life. I feel like I really got to know this person.
Forest Under Stress wasn't that nice documentary short. It's about like the ecosystem and like forest, and it was kind of like an educational video. I just felt the editing was a little crude and not as well put out together. I'm assuming the teacher put it together, the lady. That's the focal point of the documentary, and it basically talked about like how insects and plants go throughout their cycles of life in a certain particular forest. Some of the animations were kind of crude and not fully formed, a little distracting, but I felt there was a warmth of heart to it. I just felt the execution wasn't as good.
Forest Under Stress was so cute. Obviously talking about really important issues, but presenting them in a way that's really fun to watch, and creating these cute little characters that you care about. And I think that that's actually a really, really effective tactic, is to make them like us and give them emotions and feelings and all of that, to help us just make it more real and give that emotional attachment to the trees and all of the parts that make it all function as a system. So it was short and it was sweet. I thought it was very, very well done. And also I learned so much, even about how, when the beetles come in, it's because the trees are vulnerable and it attracts them, and then they lay their eggs, and that's where disease happens. And it's a whole cycle, and everything is interconnected. And that's what I really took away from this video. Very, very good job.
This had such a cool vibe to it. And what an important message that it had too. I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought that this was very well done. I loved the old pictures and listening to the story of that couple. I think that a lot of the artwork fit the whole vibe of the piece. Everything that they were doing, and the music also fit the vibe of the piece too. Some of the sound levels weren't quite even, so some of it was a little bit louder, some of it was a little bit softer. That didn't throw me out of it, but there was one thing. This darling, the voiceover, it's okay, slow down, it's not a race. It was hard for me to figure out what was going on, because it was a little bit like a Southern auctioneer. So it's okay to slow it down, but other than those tiny little minute things, I thought they did a great job with this.
Forest Under Stress is a great film for showing exactly how our forests are vital to our way of life. And I think elementary school students would enjoy it based on the animation style used for this. It's done in a simplistic way that will tell kids exactly what our forest systems go through in a way that science teachers would adore. The animation style alone is driven in a way for children. That way, with the fun voices, and everything else. I think children would really, really enjoy it, and they would be able to understand it.
Forest Under Stress was really interesting. I think you did a great job of mixing, documentary filmmaking with animation in a way that made the information really digestible for me, but also I think I could show it to like a class of kids and they would be able to understand the subject as well. And that's really important when you're trying to disseminate a lot of information to like a wide audience, especially, as a filmmaker in general, but especially as a documentarian, is that you want this issue that is pretty important, but it's something that can be worked towards, finding ways to fix it at a young age. So being able to have a mass audience, consume it and be able to consume it is really important. I think there were a few issues with the sound mixing, but other than that, I thought it was really enjoyable to watch. And fixing that would just bring the production value of the piece as a whole to the next level and just make it even better. So a slight adjustment, but overall really well done.